Peace everyone, welcome back to Gigonomics. And if you've been strolling YouTube lately, I'm sure you've seen all the hype about making $2,000 a week delivering medical supplies, or start your own medical courier empire with zero experience. Sounding like the perfect side hustle, right? But here's the reality check no one gives you. Once you factor in their certification, the specialized commercial insurance, and the deadhead miles, driving back empty, are you actually making a profit, or are you just destroying your car for minimum wage? Today, I'm putting the heavyweight champion, medical courier work, into the ring against my personal favorite underdog, the senior airman business. One of these require HIPAA laws, bloodborne pathogen training, background checks, and newer vehicles. In some cases, 5 years or less. The other, it keeps you local, it requires zero medical certifications, and it might actually pay you double the net profit. I'm going to break down the barriers to entry, give you an actual list of medical apps that's hiring right now, and then we're going to look at the hard numbers on exactly how much you take home after expenses. Is the medical hype real, or is the money hiding in plain sight? Let's jump into it. Let's start with what it actually takes to get you your first dollar in the medical carrier field. And this is where most people get stuck. Before you make your first buck in the medical carrier field, it's something you must realize. It's not just driving, it's about being compliant. You need HIPAA certification, bloodborne pathogen training, chemo handling may be required, and you may even need your hazmat certification. And that's just to name a few. Each state, each company you sign up with, they require different certifications, but the two standards, or the basic ones, is definitely HIPAA certification and your bloodborne pathogen training. Another requirement, you may need to have your LLC. If you're signing up with like a third-party company, they may not require your LLC, but to go after the contracts, you need your LLC, a business bank account, a clean background check, and you may be required to have a clean vehicle. But your real expense, that would be your insurance. Your personal auto policy, it usually excludes all carrier work. To go after legit high-paying medical contracts, you will need a commercial auto policy, plus cargo insurance. If you go through a third-party provider to get your foot in the door, they still require your auto limits to be $100K for general liability and $300K for property damage. They may also want worker comp, and the limits for the worker comps, they will be set according to the state that you live in. You may also need a TWIC card, and with a TWIC card, you just get certain clearances and allow you to enter some government facilities. So now your monthly costs jump, and that's before you even made your first dollar. These certifications, they're not too expensive, but they're not cheap either. You could be out of hundreds, if not thousands, before you even earn your first dollar. Now let's compare that to senior errands. You could use a standard vehicle. It got to be dependable though. It could be of any age. You could keep your standard insurance in most cases, just depending on what services you choose to offer. You don't need biohazards training. You don't need no TWIC card. You don't need chemo handling, and you can literally start this afternoon. Here's another secret. If you get a direct contract with a lab or a hospital, they usually pay on net 30 terms. That means you pay for gas today, you pay for repairs today, but you don't see your first paycheck until 30 to 45 days. And I get why people are excited. Medical carrier work, it looks clean, it sounds professional, and the pay rate, it looks better than food apps on the surface. You see numbers like $35 to $50 an hour, and sometimes even more. And if you comparing it to like DoorDash or Uber Eats, yeah, medical carrier looks like a step up. But here's the problem. Those numbers don't tell you what it costs to stay in this game. Senior errands, you get paid at the door, cash, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, all direct to you after each errand. And cash flow, that's king, especially when you're just starting out in this business. First, forget about those fabricated stories of making $50 an hour doing medical carrier work. I'm not saying it's not possible. Maybe it is for them. But you just starting out in the medical carrier field and making $50 an hour, that's not going to come immediately. And as far as contracts or the big government contracts they sell you on, there's no secret sauce to leapfrogging to the top of that list. These high-dollar government contracts, they're not just laying around waiting on you to get certified. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone or shoot down this hustle. We just got to be real. I'm not trying to sell you a course or have you sign up for any programs. I'm just here to educate you and be straight up. And with that being said, let's look at a real 8-hour day and compare some numbers. Got to look at that. And these are real national averages. Medical carrier work, it looked like it pays $27 an hour. But after you account for the 150 miles you put on your car, including driving back empty, you're making around $11 an hour. And to be fair, let's give or take an extra $5 to $10 to that total. But even then, and that's the part they not putting in these thumbnails, senior errands, it keeps you hyper local, meaning you serving your local community. You drive 3 miles to the store and 5 miles back to the client. You keep your car longer and you keep higher profits. With Senior Errands, you might only gross $160, but you only driving 30 to 50 miles tops per day. Look, I'm not here to trash medical carrier work as a side hustle. And if you're still interested in becoming a medical carrier, there is work out here for you. But don't just guess what to do next. And definitely don't buy another course that promise you the source or secrets on becoming a medical carrier. They don't exist. There's none out there. But if you're still interested and you want to give medical carrier work a shot, here are the companies that's actually hiring in the US right now. So here's my top 4 companies. At number 1, you got Drop Off. At number 2, you got Freight. At number 3, you got CB Driver. And number 4, Medical Carriers and Lab Logistics. But understand this, you will be competing with thousands of drivers. Therefore, your margins will be thinner than they look. Or you could stop competing. With Senior Errands, you own the client list, you stay local, you control your schedule, and families, they pay you for trust. You're not riding around burning your gas. You're building a real business in your own neighborhood. You building relationships and referrals and word of mouth. In this business, they spread quick. And that's why this niche, it don't burn people out. Now let's talk about the part nobody like to be honest about. And this is where most of y'all get sold a dream. Everybody online keeps saying the same thing. Just sign up for medical carrier companies to get your feet wet. That sounds good, that sounds easy, and it sounds safe. But here's what actually happened. You spend weeks signing up. You upload your license, you upload your insurance, your background check, and you wait. And you keep waiting because the truth is, medical carrier space is oversaturated. You're not early. You're late to a party that's already crowded. Most of these companies, they're not even onboarding drivers like that anymore. They already have too many people sitting in a system. And that's the part they're not telling you. You could get approved and never see real work. So now you checking your email, you refreshing the app, you watching YouTube, and these videos keep telling you that the money is coming. And months later, you still not running routes. Some people don't even make it that far. They get tired of waiting. Your bills don't wait, your gas don't wait, and life never waits for anyone. So what happens? They end up doing something else anyway. And here's the part that really matters. To make real money in the medical carrier field, like not just YouTube money, you actually need connections, contracts, or time in the system, not just a sign-up link. So when gurus tell you just sign up with another company to get your feet wet, what they're not telling you is the water is shallow, crowded, and cold. And if you're trying to use medical carrier as a quick entry to some quick, consistent income, this ain't it. But don't get me wrong, medical carrier, it can work, but just not the way it's being sold. The medical carrier field, it isn't a scam, but it's not the gold mine people make it sound like either. It's oversaturated and more hyped up than anything. A lot of details are not being shared when it comes to the medical carrier work. And why? Because most of them are not doing the work. They're just reporting on it. If you want control, consistency, and some real money in your car to run next year, there's a better lane. I break down exactly how I started Senior Errands, the pricing, find the clients, all of it in this video. Click that and I'll see you there. If you found some value in this video, hit the like, hit the share, leave a comment. And until next time, y'all stay safe, stay blessed, get to your hustle. Peace.